Well, I think about the fact that I was very, very fortunate to come back alive when I seen a lot of people got killed, and you would see so much devastation, and we would land on an island that was just taken over after our troops left there, and you'd see dead Japanese soldiers laying around, hundreds and hundreds of them. The heat was always in the over 100 degrees, and their bodies was laying on the ground, bloated up, and all you could see sticking out was their hands like that. And I mean, they would just, you would hit them with a piece of rock or metal or something like that, and it would just, they'd explode, and it'd be full of maggots running out, just millions and millions of them. And the odor was just terrible. But you just put that behind it because you knew it was war, and if you wasn't killing them, they were trying to kill you. And that's what it all boiled down to.
When I go out, I always have something that looks like I have my World War II hat, and I get to meet a lot of interesting people that come up and talk to me. What really turns you on is whatever little kids come up here, we say, "Can I shake your hand?" And you bring tears to your eyes, little tears.
I volunteered. I was in high school. I graduated in 1942. Of course, the war broke out in 41. And at that time, that was the thing to do, to volunteer, because you want to do what everybody else was doing. It was going to the service,
And then after I served about 8 years in the World War II, in the service to World War II, and then after that little pause there, and when the Vietnam War broke out, it actually started with the Berlin crisis, and I decided to join the service right then and there again. And at that time I joined the Marine Corps, and I spent 24 years in the Marine Corps and retired on 30 years.
I actually enlisted in the aviation cadets, and I passed all my tests and everything. But when I got to Fort Meade, Maryland for my first assignment, I didn't have a birth certificate, and they said, "Well, if you don't have a birth certificate, you can't be in the cadets." So they said, "If you want to fly, we suggest you go to aerial gunnery school." I said, "Well, then that's what I'll do."
I got wounded in action. I got hit with what we call a satchel charge along the sides of your legs, and I spent about 6 months in the hospital in the jungles of Philippines, at an island called Mindoro. It's already on the map, I don't think, and that's where I was at on Mindoro, and the Air Force had a air base in the mainland of Jackson, Philippines. So they medevac me there. Well, first it took me out of the jungle and walked me out, or with stretchers, and when they got out in the open, they had a helicopter come in, pick me up, took me to the coast, and another plane came down, and wound up going to the Okinawa hospital up here. So life goes on, I guess.
And we got ready to go to overseas in the Pacific, and we had taken off from our air base at 1 o'clock in the morning, and unfortunately we got off the ground, but we hit a high tension tower, and we crashed the plane in the swamp in California, and 2 men got killed in that. One of them fell out, and the propeller fell in his face, and the other one he burned to death in the plane. Rest of us got out of the plane. I didn't see just me and another fellow got out one side, and the other 6 guys was out the other side. And we went back to the base, and they picked us up in an ambulance, and we took in the hospital there for 21 days, I think. And then they sent me home for 30 days till my burns healed up and my hair grew back in and so forth. And then I went back to California, and 3 days later I was on a plane going to Hawaii.
Whenever I was getting medevaced out there, all of the troops were out there, and, all around me, make sure I get delivered on the airplane or helicopter in that case there, and it was really nice. He carried me out of the jungle out there like a wet rag, That was something else. He had to carry me out of the jungle so I would get to some roads. We were back in the boonies, as you say. And it's kind of moving, the people who do something for you, when you're in a position where you can't help yourself or anything.
But that was the main thing. You always looked out for everybody else, and unfortunately, one of our crew members, we was attacked one time by a Japanese Air Force, and this plane came in on us and firing these bullets, and just luckily the one bullet missed me, and it got the guy on the other side of the plane 4 feet away, and he got killed. And so I kind of carried him in my lap all the way back to base. So that was a very traumatic time for me. But it was war. You had to expect those things,
Oh, I fight the war all the time. She said anyway. Oh yeah, it seems pretty regular anymore. When you get tired and can't go to sleep, then you do doze off, then next thing you're fighting a battle somewhere. So, but I learned to live with it, Well, I'll get out of bed and come back and get on my favorite chair over there and I'll just kick back, and because in bed there I start fighting the war zone. It gets mama excited there, so I won't hurt and I just sleep. So if I feel something coming on, I'll get out of bed and she'll find me out there in the morning. And it's something you got to live with the rest of your life too, But you try to put it aside, but it's not going to leave you, It's going to be there all the time for you. Yeah, it was hard recuperating all them years, So that's why you see me walking around with a crutch. I had had knees replaced and got titanium for legs, and but I've appreciated life. It's been good to me. Almost 90 years old in a couple of months. I never thought I'd make it this far.